What's up guys, it's your boy High Top here, and I recently had the chance to play the Forspoken demo, and after spending a good 2 to 3 hours, I got a lot to say, so let's just jump right into it. Now when it comes to the gameplay and combat for Forspoken's combat mainly focuses on casting attack and support magic, while also moving around the battlefield planning out your next move. At first it was confusing figuring out how combat worked, especially when it came to the support magic, but after a while I did start to get the hang of it, and it made battles that much more fun and engaging. Like, yeah, it did take me a little while to realize that Cuff can actually scan enemies and give you info on their weaknesses, and I did find myself kind of switching between the wrong magic at wrong times. Like sometimes I would use fire magic from far away, and I'd be wondering, why am I moving in on a target, and I should have been using Frey's earth magic, which is more long range. So it was a steep learning curve, and it is, but after a while I got used to it. Now switching between support and attack spells is super smooth, and it never really slows down combat. So essentially, while we're in combat, you can switch between attack spells and support spells on the fly. And it kind of has this slow-mo effect, and I'm a big sucker when it comes to slow-mo. So it was really cool while switching between the different spells. You can see Frey kind of like moving around, doing parkour, dodging an attack. It was really fun to see. But overall, planning is really key when it comes to the magic. You can't just throw out anything and hope for the best. You can, but you'll find yourself kind of screwed, especially since support magic has a little bit of a cooldown, so you have to wait for the magic to come back, so you got to use your magic wisely. Now, even though I had fun with the combat, I will say the movement did feel stiff and clunky at times. Like, even though you can zip around the battlefield with, I think it's called shimmy, sometimes I wasn't sure if I was really causing any damage or really doing a spell. Like sometimes I would press the trigger for a certain spell and it didn't really feel like it was actually responsive enough for me to know that I was hitting them. Like, sure, after playing it for a while, I kind of got the gist of how the game went, but I should still feel like, I'm hitting the enemy and it's like, I'm casting that spell. I should feel it, somehow, somewhere like in Bayonetta or in Devil May Cry. So those buttons need to be more responsive, in my opinion. Plus, also, it made me realize, I just remember that this game was actually made by the same dudes who did Final Fantasy 15, and the controls did feel a little bit clunky there. But yeah, hopefully, their approach to combat is a lot better in this game in the final product. Now, when it comes to the open world, after playing for about 2 to 3 hours, I'll admit, running around using magic was fun, especially since it felt like I can really go anywhere. Frey using parkour to go over objects and go up mountain faces and stuff was fantastic. It was so much fun. It felt like I can really just go anywhere, like in Spider-Man. Like you could go at some points, of course, because it's a demo. But even though it was fun traveling around, the world really did feel empty. Like it didn't, narratively speaking, it makes sense for it to be as empty since the outside world is hostile and has a dangerous disease floating around, but there should still be animals roaming about. Like, even if the animals are hostile, I should see more of them around in the fields or the water. Like, during my playthrough, it felt like enemies and animals felt too far in between. Like, it took me a minute till I actually saw any zombies or any animals kind of running around. Even if they're hostile, I should still see more of that. So, hopefully in the final product, maybe that's different. Maybe this is just for the demo. Now, there are missions and objectives in here. The objectives are demo centric, so pretty much you have I think 5 objectives, and after you complete the objectives, you have another one where you can face a super boss that's hard and pretty much puts everything you learned together against that boss. And actually, it was actually really fun, really planning out the moves and stuff. And but I think my gripe is maybe with the monuments, because basically there's a monument called the Monument of Wisdom, and pretty much you go into it, it's like a mission. So in this one, you have to protect the citizens in the stronghold, and pretty much, you know, wait till the time runs out. And it was fun, sure, but I was like, I feel like if it's gonna be objective based throughout the whole thing, hopefully there's a lot to do rather than just these monuments and stuff. I don't know. I feel like I could get bored easily and lose interest, like especially if traveling around is the only thing I can do. But that's just me. I mean, sure, and also there was like a lot of like abandoned places you can find. Even you can like look for bits of lore of the world, but still I feel like there should be a little bit more, but the final product might have that. Now, there isn't any narrative in this demo. No narrative whatsoever. But Frey, from the voice lines that I've heard, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. Like, Cuff is more likable than the main character. Like, there's, like, bruh. Not even an hour goes by in the game, in the demo, and she just starts dropping F-bombs. And, you know, like, I get it. Sometimes you gotta curse sometimes. But I'm like, I feel like she utilizes the curse words unnecessarily. And I think, like, there was even a voice line I read into, like, Cuff kind of made a comment on it. So maybe this is just a narrative thing. Maybe she gets better over time. You know, maybe this is just from the world she came from, how she grew up. But I just feel like she drops a lot of, like, F-bombs and curses for no reason, you know? And I don't know, the narrative, they gotta really sell me on this character. They gotta. Now, when it comes to graphics, I'm not a stickler when it comes to graphics, but I'll admit, from the trailers that we've seen of this game from the past and recently, playing this demo, I was expecting a little bit more, honestly. Like, I didn't really get that wow factor, especially since this is supposed to be a next-gen title. And it's the only next gen and on PC. I didn't get that wow, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a stickler with graphics, but I was expecting a little bit more. Like, and even in the settings, you have the option to use. There's 3 options there: for performance mode, ray tracing, and quality mode. And out of the 3, I did performance mode since that gives you a smooth 60 FPS or higher. If you set it to like 120, you have the right monitor or TV. But even at 60 frames, I was like, oh, performance mode is fine. Like, I'm good. I don't need to have anything special. But I did try it on ray tracing and on quality mode. I did not see a difference. Like, maybe it's in certain areas, but I did not see a difference whatsoever. So, plus the frame rate looked disgusting, so I stuck on performance mode. But overall, I think really the main spectacle is with the magic. Like, there were sometimes I casted magic and it did look good. And like, it looked really good. Like the fire magic, especially the big ones that you do if you hold the triggers together. Like, that was fun. That was like super cool to watch. But otherwise, the world, it didn't really look that special, in my opinion anyway. But hopefully the final product will deliver on, you know, having us a better experience. Now, even though everything didn't blow my socks off, I still had a great time with the demo. I can really see the potential this game has, but we're gonna have to wait till the full release to see if it shows. Actually, side note, shout out to Square Enix for the constant release of these demos. Being able to get a taste of what I'm waiting for is fantastic. Like, it's been a minute since we've had these many demos come out. Now, I'm still gonna buy this game day one, but if you're still on the fence, just wait for the reviews and hear their take. In my opinion, I think this demo might not be the best representation of the game, since some things can change, but hey, that's my opinion. Now, how about you guys? Did you get a chance to play the demo, or saw the recent gameplay and have thoughts? Let me hear them down below in the comments. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.